morning. It's a beautiful. Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful Sunday. This is the Duke Post Game Report brought to you by Relive Sports. As usual, I'm Eric Russman, the Baby Yoda, and here with me is my
Yes,
Mandalorian,
I like
Maurizio
it.
Martinovich.
Well done.
Justin Lociali is unfortunately not able to make it today. He is currently, quote unquote, stuck in a canyon due to a snowstorm in and around Salt Lake City. So we're going to try to persevere and get through this short recap of last night's game against Wake Forest without him, unfortunately.
Yeah, so um that is quite unfortunate for Justin. Hold on, you're like flashing in and out of existence on me here, Eric. Oh, there you go.
Okay, cool.
Maybe. Who knows? Well, like Discord has been having like the most bizarre problems ever, and I can't for the life of me figure out why they're doing it. Anyway, Duke last night had zero problems fixing out the with Wake Forest. So let's get straight into the highlights because we have plenty to talk about both with our Blue Devils and in and around the ACC.
Mhm.
All right. Here it is. The Duke Blue Devils sporting these new gray unis, oh, not gray unis, these navy blue unis, rather, with the Gothic writing. They look quite hype. And you know, if anything else was hype, it was Tre Jones because this was going to be his night and his show. The first 5 points to Tre. The last time these two teams met here in Cameron, it came down to the final possession. That was not going to be the case tonight because Tre's also got the assist game going there with Jordan Goldwire. Now Goldwire is going to turn his own defense into his own offense. Nice finish there with the lay-in and the right hand. And basically, when Duke has the defense going, they're unstoppable. Jack Delorier there with the block on the defensive end and the putback on the offensive end. And at this point, Duke is going to go on a 9-1 run, started by the Joey Baker three on that one. Cassius Stanley in the paint here with the lay-in for two. The alley oop that isn't quite a slam, but it does find the bottom of the net anyway. There for Vernon Carey, and then Vernon Carey off the glass. Duke at this point is just rolling. Timeout Wake Forest, but wait, there's more because you got Jack White hitting from the outside. And when Jack White's got his three going, man, it's great to see him in this kind of form this part of the season. And the Cameron Rims are going to get in on the block party as well. Why not? Tre Jones there going to get his own miss. And right before the end of the half, we've scored on 3 consecutive final plays of the half. And there it is. There's Tre Jones. And my goodness, his mid-range jump shot is so dependable, you could literally invest your 401k in it. Tre Jones here in the second half. Come for the game. Stay for the Tre Jones party. Why not? Wake thinks it has a run out here. And Javin brings out the wood hatchet. Wake Forest has just nowhere to go. Two Blue Devils competing for blocks. They're in the wood chipper at this point, but bang, and there's Tre Jones. Another one with the swagger. He would have 23 points on the night, and he goes to the bench with like 11 minutes to go in the second because why not?
Mhm.
There you go. Jack White for 3, Joey Baker with another 3, every Blue Devil getting in on the action, and here's the steal. The way this game was going, you just knew Cassius Stanley was going to lay it in. Goodness gracious, just admire the athleticism of this kid because it is absolutely something special, something to watch. And now on the defensive end, not to be outdone by his freshman teammate, Jack White is going to throw it down here, give the senior some love. Beautiful stuff there. And Duke is going to take this one by a score of 31, actually, and get the 900th win in Cameron. And that is going to be it for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who really never stood a chance.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, the Deacons were out. I think like one of their top scorers was injured. But I mean, in this first half, I mean, we just came out of the gate and just crushed them, scoring on 8 of our first 9 possessions. I mean, just absolutely won and blew them out of the water that first 4 to 5 minutes of the game. And then we also closed that first half super strong, whereby finishing on those 3 consecutive possessions to end the half. So I mean that it just gave us this crazy stronghold, up by 26 at the half, and that's tough for teams to come back from, to be in the locker room talking about, oh, how are we going to come back from 26 down, especially against a strong Duke team and in Cameron. We just shot amazingly efficient throughout this game, 48% from the 3-point line, 53% over the course of the game, for just field goals in general. And yeah, the defense was just all out there, just creating turnovers. We were just running all over them. 18 points off of turnovers, 18 fast break points. Like everyone was getting involved. We had multiple guys that scored at least 10 points,
Yep.
including Baker White and Goldwire. I mean, everyone was getting involved. I mean, even Hurt and Carey didn't get 10 points in this game, but other people did. So kind of goes back to what we were saying last week that if some guys, just the pace of the way the game's going, if some guys aren't getting it done, then other guys just find that role and step up and come through. So I think it was just great to see this team operating this way, coming off of last week and just building even continuing to build and get even stronger. So
Yeah, this team just looks like it's getting better as the games go by. You had the tough road game at Wake Forest, not at Wake Forest, sorry, at Georgia Tech,
mhm.
where they were sort of tested there. We have Franny in chat saying, imagine if Jordan Goldwire could shoot. Well, as you said, I mean, he put up 10 points, shoot or not, he got his double digits, and
Mhm.
so we got 5 Blue Devils with 22 minutes, and then you got Joey Baker and O'Connell here with 17 apiece, Javin with 15. The minutes are being spread out really nicely. We even got Robinson and Buckmeyer in the game at the end. Why not?
Yep.
And then the point distribution. Also, actually, Vernon Carey didn't even make it to 10.
Mm-mm.
And Matthew Hurt, you had this call out while we were doing the pregame about Matthew.
Yeah, I mean it was 5, 6 points. I mean, yeah, it's completely surprising that those two guys would combine for only like 13 points. But that's just the way the game was going. But yeah, also I mean like we held Childress, Wake Forest's point guard, to 0 points, who's like their other leading scorer, and like usually especially in last year was one of the best point guards in the ACC. I mean, he's good, and we just completely shut him down, and so went the rest of the team. I mean, it was just an insane effort. It was the sharp uniforms; they just felt extra special and played extra hard. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we just ran them out of the gym.
They, yeah, as I said, they ran into the wood chipper on this one. So Chad is wondering if the coaching staff is advising on shifting. I think that's shooters, just for like to practice and get minutes. I think that's accurate. It's something we haven't done in the past. Usually what we see Duke do is like start out when they're playing their non-conference with like deep team. Well, they'll play like 8, and then by the time they get into
Yeah,
ACC play, it's like down to 6.
right, exactly.
And
Yeah,
in this one, we're actually doing it.
yeah, I mean the announcers even picked up on that last night. I think they they were talking about how the teams in the recent years, like basically we had the team where it's 8 is enough, and then sometimes it's almost seemed like we've only had like a 6 to 7 player rotation, but we're consistently putting in like 10 guys, just kind of rotating them in. Especially when we go to those like smaller shooter lineups. I mean, we're getting everyone involved, and I think it's good to get them involved because it's different, shooting threes in practice. And I'm sure even like Jack White can shoot like 50% from 3 point line in a practice setting, but come in the game, he needs to get in that flow and get more experience. And getting Alex O'Connell and Joey Baker more looks is just going to make us stronger down the stretch.
Yeah, and the star of the night last night is Tre Jones. We put together his little highlight package here. I mean, he was just hitting from every part of the court. The mid-range jump shot, something that's sort of lost in the area of basketball analytics, but Tre Jones just seems to be able to nail it with almost alarming consistency.
Oh yeah, and that's a great move. I mean, his brother had that too, and what it does is when you start nailing that, anytime that you then after you make a couple of those shots and establish that, like anytime you make that dribble penetration, defenses have to collapse on you even stronger because you can just hit that, and then it just eventually allows you to kick out for 3 pointers because you're just making defenses collapse. Versus if there's a point guard who can't hit that jump shot, then they don't really have to fully commit to defending you until you've like shown that you're actually attempting to like drive all the way to the basket. So they're allowed to, the defense can stay spread out a little bit more. But so he by nailing those shots, he forces the defenses to like follow him way more attentively.
Yeah, and I mean he just makes it look so freaking easy too, as when he's doing it. So I don't. There's too many good things to say about Trey from last night. It's super impressive. There was one play I wanted to look at here. actually, because well, so we had in chat is imagine if Jordan Goldwire could shoot, like what would happen? What do you make of this? Hold on, I think everybody can see this here. It's
Yeah,
not on. It is this one.
it's not showing up for me.
Okay, hold on.
Let me get you on the.
Okay. Oh, I see what happened. Stop. Yep. Let me reset it there.
All right,
Did it work now?
it's up, but it's not playing.
Okay. That's all we need. It's not supposed to be playing.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, what do you make of this one where Tre Jones is bringing this ball up the court, and when I was doing this game live, I was like, just throw it to Goldwire.
Mm-hmm.
like, wait a second. You, there's why not pass this? The play is to set this. It's like a horn set, right? Because you got
Mm-hmm.
Hurt and Carey up at the top, and they're both essentially setting screens. But Goldwire is way open over here in the corner in the bottom left. So
Yeah.
is Tre Jones just going to look at this tape and be like, "Oh man, I missed one."
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I feel like it's pretty hard, even for Jordan Goldwire. I mean, everyone's aware of like what everyone's like percentages and kind of like, their ability to hit an open jump shot. But I mean, in a wide open 3-pointer, I mean, yeah, that's hard to pass up. Because I mean, even like there's games like last season when Jack White was, obviously struggling hitting 3-pointers in game settings, but he kept shooting and teams were leaving him open. I mean, we remember this from last year. Teams were leaving him wide open and they stopped guarding him essentially on the 3-point line. But I mean, you have to take the open shot because I mean it's just more likely you're going to hit a wide open 3-point shot. So yes, that's a little surprising. Um, if anything else, I mean, I guess if they're just in the mind of running the play because that was working, but I mean, even just getting him the ball in the corner, I mean, it's going to make that defense have to be like, oh man, this guy
Oops.
can hit 3-pointers, so we need to run over there and scramble real quickly, and then that can cause chaos. Even if it's just Goldwire getting the ball and then straight back to someone else after like the defense is like scrambling and in chaos. I mean, yeah, I think Tre Jones looks at that and was like, oh, maybe I should have like moved that over there because that's so open.
Yeah. I seem to be having some technical difficulties on the Discord. You're coming like in and out. That's okay. We will make sure. Oh, yep, there you go. In any case, so that's my one critique for the entire game. That's it. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. Because that's all we can say about our all that and the free throw shooting, which remains atrocious.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, I
just
mean, we were
wow.
like 11 for 20 something, 25, still around 50%.
Yeah,
Um,
13 for 25, just over 50%. It's bad.
yeah,
It's bad. It's
yeah.
bad.
I mean, and in a game like this, and fortunately, I mean, fortunately it doesn't matter as much. But again, like if this was a game that was closer points wise, I mean, you're talking about what 75% would be another 5 or 6 points, which is like that's tough to be given up because that's it's going to come back to honestly, I think at least maybe one game this season where we're going to be like we did almost everything fine except for like we gave up 12 missed free throws or something like that.
Yeah, but then it's gonna be probably a game against like Louisville or something, or Florida State, something like that.
Yeah.
The block party was also full action in Cameron last night. Tre Jones with a block there in the first half. Matthew Hurt even with a block behind the back. Laurier getting in on the action. A total of 8 blocks. Duke 6 blocks. Um, Duke with 6 blocks here, averaging 6 blocks in the ACC, or actually, which is apparently about fifth in the nation, and we got 8
Hmm.
last night.
Hmm.
So look at you got two teammates going for the same block, and it unfortunately
Yeah.
doesn't count as double.
Yeah, I mean, we just have our players are extremely explosive and athletic. I mean, Javin Delorier. He's tall and long. And Jack White. He's guarding guys that are usually his height or smaller, but I mean, he's super athletic and just gets up there. Even if he's a step behind him, he can catch up with him when he jumps. I mean, yeah, our guys are just all over him, and we're also doing it in generally an efficient way where we're not. It's not like we're blocking a bunch of shots and then also sending teams into the double bonus because
Right.
of fouls consistently. Like when we go for blocks, we usually get it. We're not just like hacking at will. So I mean, it's just impressive, and getting blocks like that, it just it adds to that like mental impact of like the swarm mentality of the defense, which then translates to them taking shittier shots down the stretch. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing.
The and now we're gonna harp on the announcers for a second because there was an egregious, a completely egregious mishap by the announcers, and it happened right at the start of the game. And this clip does have audio, so I'm just gonna play it, and I'll let you in chat figure out what's wrong with this clip.
On the Blue Devils. All right, set to go. The opening tip. Wake Forest and the Duke.
Oh man, I left it out. Really? Oh
Oh,
wow.
no,
Okay, that's a fail on the. Hold on, that's a fail on me. Ha! This is what happens when you try to do it live. The here we go. Let's do it from this way.
Anything like this. Nothing.
All right.
Wake Forest and the Duke. Blue Demons, and it's tipped around and controlled eventually by the Demon Deacons.
Wake Forest and the Duke Blue Demons? What? Are you kidding me? You get paid.
It's your one job.
It is your one job. Like, you get paid to go, to travel, to hotel, to eat, to have people shove stat sheets in your face. Also, you can show up for the one game. You do like 1 or 2 games maybe a week. On Real Life,
Yeah.
we're doing like 5. Okay, and we don't even get it wrong. Like, are you kidding me? 1 G League game, 2 NBL games, 2 Duke games. Like, whoa, okay, and you call it the Blue Demons?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they're in a booth too. Like they have all the stuff right in front of them, let alone can just look around and probably figure it out.
I don't even know. I mean, it's really bad.
I mean, it's unfortunate, our ESPN is unfortunately, they're not doing too hot. I mean, they keep like firing people, and we only hear about the ones that they're firing, like the some of the announcers and reporters, as they're having to like cut because of like budget cuts or whatever, since they've been bought by Disney. But like, there's also probably some excellent technical staff that's prepping these guys too that they've had to get rid of, and I mean, it's starting to show.
I half wonder if maybe there was a Wake Forest fan on the staff or something. Here's my conspiracy theory for the day. All right, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. All right, there's a Wake Forest fan who fed them the stat sheet and like the intro segment, and he just decided to put like Demon Deacons on it, and the announcer was reading it. And he was like, wait a second, that's not quite right. So what actually ended up happening was this amalgamation of the two that actually turned it to the Blue Demons. And wow, okay. I suppose both mascots are sort of like, from the 7th layer of hell or something in Dante's
Yeah, I guess
Inferno.
that's the idea.
But yeah, that was I'm also trying to think if it says Blue Devils anywhere on the court, and I don't actually think
It doesn't.
it does not.
Uh-uh.
Because that would have been even worse.
Yeah, and our jerseys would have never say it either. We've never had a jersey that said like Blue Devils on it or
No,
anything
we've
like
had
that.
Blue Devil like logo on it, right? But
Yeah.
so yeah, we had to roast them for that. And then apparently at some point, one of my buddies was telling me that the announcers said something like Tre Jones's mid range is as good as is as dependable as porch lights like lights on a porch or something, and I'm like, what? Like I'm not what? I'm not sure I get that either. And then the other one was the baby one. You called out this one. You were texting me
Yeah,
about this.
that's pretty good.
They
Yeah, they did a segment where they came back, I think from a timeout. Maybe it was at the start of the half or
yeah.
something, where they were showing the the baby that's student section that's always held up by the line monitors, which has been known in the past that sometimes like some actual people have thought it was a real baby before, but the announcers knew it was a fake one and they were just like making jokes about it. But then it was hilarious because then they like panned and started showing like actual live babies that were like in the crowd that like fans had bought,
Like
little
this
fan.
like this beautiful kid here who is having an interesting time. He seems to be in more pain than Wake Forest at the moment, which is unfortunate because he's wearing the Duke hat there.
Oh yeah, it's the absolute best when they bring their baby giant like like headphones on them because
Yeah.
which is good. It's good parents out there that you're bringing your babies, but also being safe. Gotta need them to have those kids be able to hear stuff later in their lives. So good, but
Yeah, so no babies were harmed in the making of this show, and
absolutely not.
that line monitor baby is not real. So otherwise, there might be an issue with terms of service, but that's not the case. All right, the
Yeah.
other one we needed to get to is so our boys played exceptionally well, and there's another team about 9 miles down the road that is just not. It's just not. I, I don't know how else to put it. But of course, because this is the Duke show, we may as well talk about it because it involves our arch rival. So I'm going to set the stage for everybody who may not have seen the game live necessarily. The UNC was up by 10 points with 2 minutes to go against Clemson, who had never won in Chapel Hill. 0 for 59. Okay? That's how bad it was. 0 for 59. Imagine you're a team that has gone to play at another building and lost 59 times. That is the better part of like a century. All right? So in the second half, Clemson is here coming back after being down 10, and they're actually going to be able to force overtime here. We got this 3. They are embarrassing Tobacco Road. I completely agree. It's a 1-point game with 34 seconds to go. And here's the 6 seconds with 6 seconds! North Carolina can't get it to go on the opposite side. Yeah, overtime in the Dean Dome. And in this final frame, Clemson is going to go up. Is going to actually score 9 points. At this point, Carolina, a minute in, hasn't even scored. Unfortunately, Fox Sports doesn't have like the timeout markers. Yeah. So I can't.
I was gonna say, I bet at the end of that second half,
Roy had timeouts left. I bet he did too, but I can't tell. I know he had his one timeout in overtime remaining. I know he definitely had that left, and in desperation, it's over.
Yeah, especially with the like running down the court, like from 3-point shot that Carolina took, like right at the end of the second half, like from 10 feet behind the line. Like I feel like there was almost enough time to, if he had a timeout, for them to, just get across half court and call one so that they could at least get an inbounds play from the side versus a running ridiculous 3-point shot. But not here to give him advice.
No, but we're here to make fun of them. This is the gift that keeps on giving this season. The Carolina Tar Heels are 8-8. They're like a bad Cowboys team at this point of the season. 8-8, and it just gets better. Look, is Roy going to be employed? Well, that's the question that Chad is asking, but that's the question that is being answered right here. Look at this. This was the article from this morning here, and Roy says, he says, look. Oh my God, this is bad. We've had some great moments as a coach, and right now I'd say this is my lowest one because losing this game was my fault. Told them if I die tomorrow or 20 years from now, that'll be my biggest regret in 32 years as a coach. Oh, Roy. Okay. And then he says,
So motivational, you
So
know.
motivation. And then he says, "Gotta tell Bubba, who's the athletic director over at UNC, he should probably fire me. It probably wouldn't be that bad of an idea. The coach is supposed to help his kids. I didn't help them very much. That's true. That is part is true. My goodness, I don't."
Unbelievable. Yeah, I've also seen like the UNC people, they have like one of those like student meme pages on Facebook where they always just post stuff, and I see it because I like seeing UNC students make fun of themselves.
Yeah.
But they have just been, I mean, like there's been some like times where like Duke has like some bad game, like really bad games, and even on our page we kind of make fun of our own guys for losing, but like their level of it is like unbelievable. Like they're just like
Wait, so like,
unloading on their own players.
give me an
Oh yeah.
example. Like, can we
I
just
mean,
pull this up right now? Like, where is it?
I mean, it's on Facebook. I don't
Oh,
even know what their stupid. Yeah, I don't even know what their stupid thing is called. It's like Duke has one. It's like they used to call like Duke memes for Gothic teens. Like they have one that's some ridiculous name. But yeah, I mean, basically they're just constantly making fun of their own team with just memes like how it's just like the worst thing ever, that they should just like quit now, or there was a bunch of them like are we a football school now, and then some
are we at
actually,
football school?
and then someone was like, actually we've been a women's soccer school this whole time, because they have a very solid women's soccer team.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, wow, really? I was like you like they're literally just abandoning ship like across the board. Yeah. And there was one, it's a reporting wise it's unconfirmed, but there was one that was posted on the Duke News page that it was apparently it seemed to be a Duke student who I think based on his recollection, he goes to a medical school at UNC,
Oh
which is
Lord,
okay. I mean, it's unfortunate, but like
I knew
hey, you
friends
want to
that
be,
did that. I mourned for
yeah,
them.
it's like you want to be a doctor. Sometimes you got to make certain choices. That in those cases I understand. You couldn't get into Duke Med School. It's fine. Just kidding.
Gotcha.
Anyway, but he apparently lives. I think it sounded like he lives in the same apartment complex that like somehow like Cole Anthony does, or another freshman player, or maybe they were just visiting someone there. I guess freshman players at UNC live off campus, different than at Duke. But apparently he like ran into him and saw that the kid had like a Duke shirt on, and then like basically like the gist was like Cole Anthony was like, "Oh man, you guys are like really, you guys are way better than us this year." And then like the other guy
No
basically
way.
agreed with him. Yeah, I was just like, wow,
Oh my goodness, coming from the UNC player himself.
yeah.
Well, I guess there's talk now whether Cole Anthony will actually come back, like
Yeah, I
out
mean,
of his injury, right? Like he would hurt his or potentially risk his own draft stock to save
yeah,
the sinking ship that is North Carolina.
yeah. I mean, why? I mean, I mean, like honestly, if I was him, like he was playing, I mean, he was doing fine. He was, scoring a ton, playing well. They're like Cole Anthony is like the heart and whatever of this UNC team, and then he went away, and then they also were doing bad. Kind of. I mean, I mean, definitely, it's a solid question. I mean, I wouldn't press it if I was him to try to save anything, but anyway,
Yeah, not worth it, right?
yeah,
Yeah. All right, I think I finally fixed the stability issue, so you're back like full now, which is good.
sweet.
Yeah, which is good. This is awful for recruiting, says Chad. Yeah. So, you know what's even more awful? More awful is this. So, the best stat of the night was actually nothing that Duke itself did. It was this stat coming from UNC. It says the BPI bracket predictor, the basketball power index, which is a metric that ESPN uses to sort of gauge where teams would fall in as far as like where they are for their seeding, right? And like they use it to do a lot of matchup predictions
Yeah.
and like call games essentially. But it's all analytics based. But anyway, this is the best stat. The BPA bracket predictor gave North Carolina just a 1% chance of making the tournament before losing to Clemson. All
Oh
right.
man.
Short of a miracle at the end of the ACC tournament, in which
Yeah.
case they would get the automatic bid. The
Mhm.
Tar Heels, it's over. It's over. That's it. The NIT is now in question at 8-8.
Yeah.
The NIT
Well,
is now in question.
yeah. I mean, I think it was like after his last, that one article or quotes that he was saying where he was like, "Oh, this is the least talented team I had." There was like we brought the whole point. It's like, oh, maybe this is like he actually knows that they're somehow going to be rapidly improving in the short term, and he wanted other teams to underestimate him. We gave Roy way too much credit.
Yes,
He
we
was trying
did.
to psych people out. I was like, okay, but like that might be a strategy, but like basically, like he was already kind of in a hole, and I was like, there's only so much you can come out of, at a certain point. I mean, even if like in a miracle, like they were able to beat like Louisville and like Duke twice and Louisville twice. I don't even know who all they play or whatever. It's like that still won't matter given that they've lost to this like string of ACC teams already. Because I mean, it's just a balance.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. Yeah, chat saying I can't wait for Duke UNC. I can't either because it's going to be a blowout like we haven't seen since 2010, right?
Yeah.
When we ran them out of the gym before going on to win the national title, and that was like a win by 30. Look at this. They go to Pittsburgh. Wait. They have to go to Pittsburgh that just beat them at home.
Yeah.
So that's a loss. They have to go to Virginia Tech. They're going to lose that one. They have to play against Miami. At that point, it's probably the worst two teams in the ACC. So who knows? Toss up on that. They got to go to NC State. Wolfpack's going to be hungry for blood. They'll probably lose that one too. Versus Boston College, maybe. Bottom teams. At Florida State, not a chance. Coming into Duke here a month from now, yeah, good luck. At Wake Forest, they'll probably beat Wake Forest. Virginia's struggling, but I'll give it to Virginia. At Notre Dame, Mike Bray's not going to lose to that. Then they got to go to Louisville. Yeah, right, not happening. NC State's going to take them on their home floor, and then they have to go to Boeheim. Boeheim will probably wipe the floor with them too. Wake Forest, yeah, maybe they'll split the home and away, and then at Duke again, and we'll just kill them twice. So, I mean,
yeah,
how many is there's like maybe 3 wins left in the whole season, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, this team is not going to make 500.
I mean, it's after this start. I mean, this is the thing. It's like this. Saying like this is the time where some teams are still growing and developing, and kind of jostling for position, but they're already down. Like there's even for them to come up with everyone else, like they're just already. It's just such a gap. They're behind. I mean, it's very surprising.
I love this. Look at this. The ticket in the Dean Dome is only $327 for Duke. In Cameron, it's $1,200. Times 4. Granted, Cameron's like way smaller, but still.
You might see a stronger presence of Duke fans at that away game than the home.
I know, right? Why not?
Eat up some tickets right now.
Exactly. Look, this game against Miami is $31 and 32. If you're a Duke fan, you may as well just go and troll them at this point. You can get Virginia for 58. That's a pretty good deal. NC State for 37. Oh, the game against Wake Forest is currently selling for $14. You know what? I'll pay for everybody in chat for all of us to go down for $14 and raid on Carolina.
That's a short drive.
That's a short drive. Not bad, right? Now, what do you make of these? So we got some topsy-turvy stuff happening. We may as well just bring some context in before we end the show. There are a lot of stuff happening in the ACC. Not quite clear. Look, you got weight teams, Louisville winning here, Syracuse winning against Virginia. Virginia Tech holds on at home. The game we talked about. And Georgia Tech gets this road win here at Boston College, who's actually putting up a respectable ACC slate here at 3-2. The ACC may be wide open than we've seen it before. More wide open.
Yeah. I mean, we've usually had. There's always kind of been like 3 tiers. There's been like a top tier. It's been like 2 or 3 teams, and then there's always been kind of middle of the pack, and there was just like the bottom 2 or 3 that kind of had no chance. And I think that bottom tier is solidifying itself potentially, but I mean the rest of it is a lot more spread out. And especially that the top is not necessarily as clear because there could be some upsets here and there, especially between concerning like Duke, Louisville, Florida State, those games might come down to who shows up on the given night when they match up. So I think it is more interesting this year and definitely more spread out.
So the question is, where do you think the ACC ranks this year after being the best conference for years?
Yeah. I mean, overall, I haven't gotten to watch a ton of Big Ten other games other than like Michigan State ones.
Well, Michigan State actually losing right now.
Oh, really? But I mean, we still have how many? So there's still what, 4 ACC teams that are in the top 25 right now?
Louisville, Duke,
Florida State,
Florida State,
Virginia.
Virginia, which is going to drop, so they're out.
Yeah.
So 3.
Yeah. Okay. So that, I mean, that is lower than
Yeah.
it has been over the last couple of years. I think we've usually been up like almost approaching like 5.
Yeah,
Kind of
because
historically.
we've had
Because UNC's
exactly.
usually UNC's over there, and then there's usually one other one like Virginia Tech or something. So yeah. I mean, I guess we are a little bit lower right now. I mean, I think our those kind of top 3 are going to be strong and consistently up there all year. But yeah, I think we are a little more dilute. I mean, whether it's because we're beating up on each other more, hard to tell. Just because, I mean, we are dishing out losses to each other in a more spread out way. But yeah, I haven't. It's kind of tough to sometimes compare, like, you know, when you see like a Boston College versus like, I don't know, like Ohio State or something like that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now the Big 12 looks strong with Baylor and Kansas basically beating up on
Yeah.
each other yesterday. Baylor taking that game 67-55.
Mm-hmm.
The SEC, we have yet to see Auburn and Kentucky play. I think that's going to be the telling game for the
Mm-hmm.
SEC.
Right.
Well, the Big Ten right now, Michigan State currently being doubled up on, losing at Purdue 37-18 after starting a perfect at 5-0. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us on Tuesday when we go play Clemson. So throwing it back to you, Eric, as a little Clemson has a big game, not on Tuesday, but big game tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
against LSU. That's their big.
Oh.
That's the big
Yeah.
one where they have to travel to Louisiana, and the national championship is essentially in LSU's backyard.
Oh yeah.
Quick hot prediction on that one: LSU or Clemson?
I'm gonna go with LSU. I mean, Clemson will travel well. I just think the home turf feeling. I mean, from what I've seen, I think LSU is just the kind of the
I think
stronger
that's
team this
actually like
year.
an unpopular. I think most people are actually picking Clemson, which
Really?
is yeah.
I don't know. I like their. Dabo Sweeney's kind of cool. Dabo Sweeney has a great name. But that LSU coach, man, he is. I just love that dude. Like watching him give like speeches to his team is just fantastic. He has such a great voice, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that Clemson definitely want to win. They're definitely a powerhouse. They're used to being in that game. I don't know. I just think the home field advantage, man. It's just like there's just something about it. But
So
I don't
Trevor
know.
Lawrence hasn't lost a game since he left high school.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't. I'll go with Clemson. I say Trevor Lawrence stays perfect, and
You think it does?
they do pull the upset there. But any risk that we go into Little John on Tuesday and drop a game somehow, trap game maybe, I don't know, because as this our schedule here, I'm looking at our Blue Devils schedule, and we have this game against Clemson on Tuesday, and then the next game is against Louisville, back at home. So is Clemson a potential trap? Are we looking ahead to which is Louisville's the big matchup?
Right. Yeah, because like you're kind of thinking about Louisville like several days leading up to that, even though you have the Clemson game. I think it normally would be. I mean, I would say maybe there's going to be an interesting like start to the game. Like maybe we get one of those like, oh, Duke is weirdly down by like 3 points after 6 minutes or something, and then we just slowly just put them away. Um, I don't think we drop this one. Have any kind of weird situation where something goes horribly catastrophic wrong. Because I mean, yeah, they beat UNC, but I mean the level of competition in that game I think was still pretty low. Yeah, I don't think it's a trap game. I mean, I'd say trap games I feel like usually fall more when it's like we play like a powerhouse team like on a heavier one on the weekend and then have like a follow up versus like kind of two
Oh, so
back
you're
to
saying the
back.
letdown is after the game after?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I definitely agree. Like, yeah, thinking about Louisville before, but I think it definitely comes afterwards because like it generally comes afterwards, especially if you have like a big game on like a Monday or Tuesday night, and then you have like a weaker team on like a Thursday, Friday. I think that's when they typically show up more because you're like, oh man, we just put in all this effort and beat this crazy team, especially when you win. You're like, now we're rolling, and then you kind of like breathe a little bit, and then that's when they get you. Versus like building up to a hard game. So I don't think we get trapped in this one.
All right. Well, I think if they win the national title, they're probably going to be really ramped. It'll be more interesting because they'll be like the students will come in really hyped.
Yeah.
Either that or they won't show up at all because they'll have been out too late and they'll like from the previous night, and
Yeah.
then they just like won't go to the game. So I don't know if that'll work for or against us.
Depends if they, because what might happen is they might travel back that night or that morning before the game, because they might do some kind of like, oh, the team's going to come out at halftime and show off the trophy during the
Oh
game to get them fired up, and then I don't know.
Yeah. So interesting one to watch just because of the implications of actually their football program. Hopefully we'll go ahead and roll that one too as we get to 6-0 and then line up a tough matchup against Louisville. Luckily that one's at home. We don't have to play them at Louisville, although last time we went to Louisville we absolutely broke their spirit. So
Yep.
in any case, all right, final thoughts for this whole week. A good week all in all, the tough road game against Georgia Tech, and then the resounding win against Wake Forest. It seems that our Saturday games are blowouts. I'm looking at like 95-62 against Miami, 90-59, and then the weekday games are a little closer.
Yeah, I mean, these two games, I just think we've seen things in both games that I really like as far as the development of our team, and everyone kind of stepping up in their roles and kind of spreading the scoring around. So I like that we've seen growth and development in this team, and I think it's going to keep continuing as we move forward in the season.
All right, very good. So those are the final thoughts on this game. A dominating win for the Blue Devils in Cameron. Great, just praise to go all around for the team. NFL playoffs the remainder of the day. And hopefully everybody has a wonderful Sunday and manages to stay warm, as I think it's snowing in various parts of the U.S. But yeah, that's it. So we'll see you on Tuesday night for this game against Clemson, and then come back on Wednesday for the recap there and the preview for Louisville. For all of us here at Real Life Sports, I'm Ritz, and that's Eric. And Justin, who's out in a canyon somewhere. Hopefully he gets unstuck and manages to find his way home, because he seems to be snowed out somewhere in Utah. In any case, have a great rest of your Sunday. Take care, everybody. See ya.
See you guys. Go Duke.